Good morning, Professor Yu. First of all, I'd like to say thank you for letting me do this video in an alternative format. I hope it all works out for you. And if you take a look at the screen, you can full screen the secondary if you don't want to see my face as I talk and just have a full screen of the presentation. So this is Emily Hankins, and this is my Intercultural Communication presentation. I did it on traveling in Germany and Ukraine, so the target audience is mostly just someone who'll be traveling for tourism or business, and it's to help people to be culturally conscious and aware and not to make mistakes that might cost them their image or just offend people. So the introduction, it's a basic guide to travel in Germany and Ukraine. And like I said, that's the target audience. I have an overview, and this is what the presentation will cover. So there's introduction, and it's going to cover communication, both greetings and oral, and nonverbal communication. It's going to cover cultural customs with cultural etiquette, taboos, dress, and behavior, values and beliefs, the laws, and I'll have a works cited page. So first of all, I'm going to go into greetings and oral communication. So in Germany, they're a lot more formal than Americans, and introductions are supposed to be formal and include a handshake. Use titles such as a person's profession or education level and the person's last name. Speech in Germany is quieter, and jokes are reserved for close friends and informal settings. In Ukraine, introductions will use the first name, the patronymic, which means son of, so it'll be like kind of like a family name, but the father, and their last name. A handshake is often part of the introduction, but Ukrainian women seldom shake hands. So in Ukraine, the language is mostly, like they have their own language, but it's often mixed with Russian phrases and ways of speaking, especially among the young people. So in Germany, first names are mostly reserved for friends and close family. In German writing, there's a higher frequency of direct and explicit language when making assertions, creating a sense of the writer's authority. So nonverbal communication. In Germany, maintaining eye contact is very important during conversations since it shows sincerity, and if you don't show direct eye contact, they might think you're untrustworthy. Personal space is also very important to Germans. Pointing with the index finger to the temple is very rude in Germany because it means you're crazy. In Germany, you wave goodbye by waving your fingertips up and down. Waving them side to side means no. Lack of good posture indicates slovenliness and disrespect to German people, so sit straight with your legs crossed. In Ukraine, too much direct eye contact might be rude, but not having any direct eye contact at all is shy or untrustworthy. Physical contact, like a pat on the shoulder or a hug, is often more acceptable among friends in Ukraine than in Germany. Men may be more direct with their communication in Ukraine, whereas Ukrainian women may rely more on nonverbal communication. Keeping these nonverbal communication differences in mind may help the tourist or business traveler to be culturally sensitive and make better connections. So now we're going to move on to cultural customs in Germany and Ukraine. Cultural etiquette. In Germany, it is very rude to chew gum or have your hands in your pockets while talking. And status is very important to German people, and they respect people that are older and more educated. If you're going to try to get someone's attention, like a waiter or just a friend, signaling with a raised finger is appropriate. If you wave, it could be considered making a scene, which is not something you want to do in Germany because it's considered very rude. Clearing the plate during dinner is polite. If you go to someone's house, an odd number of flowers could be brought to the hostess, except you're not supposed to bring the number 13 and you're not supposed to bring red roses. Gifts of wine are very appreciated. You should bring a gift to your Ukrainian host if invited for a meal. Like in Germany, an odd number of flowers is a good gift. You may be asked to remove your shoes and be ready to give a toast. If you compliment someone's belongings in Ukraine, they may give them to you. Be ready to share everything you might have. In Ukraine, you shouldn't put your thumb between your first two fingers. It's considered a very rude gesture. So, cultural taboos. And this is what not to do. In Germany, tipping too much, which is more than 10 to 15%, or giving very expensive gifts could be seen as showing off your status. In Germany, putting feet on furniture or bus seats is very rude, and they may yell at you. I know that from personal experience. In Ukraine, do not whistle or shake hands over the threshold of a door. And this is business and general attire, to wear or not to wear. Germans are very straightforward and quiet, more formal than Americans. Whereas Ukrainians wear a wide variety of attire, and it differs between generations. In Germany, you shouldn't wear flowery prints. It's considered frumpy. In Germany and Ukraine, business dress is about the same as that of Americans. In Ukraine, you shouldn't take off your suit jacket unless someone asks you to. So now we're going to move on to values and beliefs in Germany and Ukraine. German people take great pride in being highly organized, both in their professional and personal lives. This can be very beneficial because international communication and negotiation and business runs very smoothly. And that makes it very easy to travel in Germany. Ukrainians are family-oriented and are very hospitable. They invite people into their homes and is very expected. Whole families often live together until old age, grandparents helping raise the children. Men and women conform to old gender roles. And drawing attention to oneself in Ukraine is frowned upon. People keep quiet in public and don't sit or lay on the streets. Women won't be seen in military or police in Ukraine. So now we're going to move to laws, and I focus mostly on laws that it would impact travelers and tourists in these countries. So in Germany and Ukraine, you need a passport, but a visa is only needed if you're staying more than 90 days. In Germany, you need to stamp your passport, but not all German points of entry are staffed to ensure proper documentation. It may be necessary to contact officials in advance to ensure that a proper stamp is given upon entry. Travelers without the stamp may run into unneeded troubles. Unlike some states, all vehicle passengers in Germany are required to wear a seatbelt. And in Germany, there are very strict laws about bringing in items that pertain to World War II. They're not allowed except for in very rare circumstances, if maybe they're being used for a historical reason. Any fascist, racist, or Nazi propaganda is strictly forbidden to be transported in or out of the country in print, on computer, or in audio. And in Ukraine, many of these laws are similar to other countries. Drug penalties are very severe. Drinking and smoking in public is illegal, and passport ID is needed at all times. Refrain from taking photographs near government or military establishments. And there shouldn't be any PDA, especially if homosexual. There's no provision against under Ukrainian legislation guaranteeing freedom from discrimination on the grounds of sexual orientation. And these are my works cited. I'm going to upload just the presentation part of this so you can take a look at everything at your own pace. Thank you so much.